Welcome to the Lawson and Gift podcast. Make sure to hit that like button, share the videos, and subscribe. And we're on to week 6, Vegas spread over under picks.
Yeah, Geff, I do want to just talk about something from the Wednesday spread picks we did. I see a lot of people on the internet talking about how the Patriots to cover tonight is a lock and to put tons of money. Geff, I've seen a lot of this. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. If any of you are thinking of doing that, my goodness, just show some caution for the love of Jesus, because there's times to attack and put it all in. But with 17 points, is this really something you want to do? I know you're going to feel the same way, even though you might feel that the Pats can cover. This just isn't something to go all in on. So it's just needed to let everyone know that if there was any confusion.
Yeah, and I think the thing to look at, too, is that the Patriots haven't been blowing people out in the sense of going, full for the kill, even in the fourth quarter. We've seen them lighten up on teams this year, which is unlike them. So with 17 points, it could be 30-10 heading into the fourth quarter. Who's to say they're not going to let Daniel Jones get a garbage touchdown or two?
And put in their second string quarterback again. And
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is good enough to get garbage points against the Patriots, even though that D's lethal.
Yeah, and you're right, though. I've been hearing Patriots and the under. Like it's like a definite lock-in.
Yeah, Patriots to cover is like a lot. People are saying it and it's not just I've seen 5-10 people say it. I've seen a lot of people say it every time I go on the internet. So I just needed to let that be known that please don't do that, especially on a Thursday night game, for the love of God.
All right, and with that, let's do the over-under for that game. Giants at the Patriots, the over-under 42.
Yeah, well, I like the over. So normally when 80%, 85% are doing one thing, I'm normally on the opposite side. And normally when I've been on the opposite side, whether it's spread, I usually win. Although I will not be betting this, but I'm going over because whenever there's the option of garbage points to be put up in games, you got to go over at a certain point.
Yeah, same what I just said, the same reasoning. I could see the Patriots getting up, and I could see them scoring at least 30. Who's to say the Giants aren't going to get 14 points, even if 7 of those or more are in garbage time? So I actually kind of like the over.
Exactly, like everyone wants to bet over, which everyone wants to bet under, yet says Patriots are going to cover a 17.5 point spread. Come on, Giff. Like if they cover that 17.5 point spread, you got to think the Giants put up 14. So I'm not seeing how it goes under if that's what everyone's thinking.
Yeah, well, I think it was what you were saying the other day, just about people living just by 1 week. You got to look at the big picture. I mean, the Patriots defense is good, especially in the secondary, but I don't think that the Patriots defense as a whole is better than, let's say, Minnesota's. So just because Minnesota's defense held the Giants to 10 doesn't mean the Patriots defense is going to do that.
And so many people are going to get mad and throw out stats, but I'll just do my normal reply. Who have the Patriots really played?
Exactly.
Knowing that Big Ben was the best quarterback they faced, and they faced him with pretty much one arm. Come on now.
And let's move on to Carolina versus Tampa, the over-under 47.5.
I'm going under. I think Tampa Bay's defense gobbles up Christian McCaffrey. And this Tampa Bay offense, it's give, it's take. Some weeks it's hot, some weeks it's not. And this sets up for an under for me.
Yeah, I like the under in this game. Carolina's defense has been playing decent, I think, but I do think Jameis will do enough. But I don't think he's going to, I don't think it'll go over 20 points, maybe 21. Tampa Bay will get. But Tampa's defense, I like that front seven against the run. And they already showed once this year that they can neutralize McCaffrey to some degree. They got talented linebackers. The D-line is set up to stop the run. So I like the under in this too. And with that, we'll move to Cincy at Baltimore, the over-under 48.
Oh, I'm going under here. I mean, come on now. How many points do people think the Bengals can score? And I guess that's my major proclamation with this game. I mean, I can't see the Bengals scoring over 17 points, even if this gets out of hand. and eventually the Bengals have to show some sort of response, right? Zach Taylor's got to have some sort of response, right? I mean, not
Yeah.
that me and you said this was going to be a good hire, everyone can go back, but you would think there'd be a response by now. AJ Green's probably not going to play, so that's not going to be a boost of verb that they obviously need. But and then Giff, Baltimore, me and you have been right on them all year. That defense is vulnerable, I know, but the Bengals offense, they're not competitive at this point. But that Baltimore offense is very vulnerable. But do the Bengals have any fight? I'm going under, but don't bet this, please.
Yeah, this is a tough one, and just because there are deficiencies on both sides, but I'm going over, I guess, because of that reason. Uh, Not crazy about Baltimore's defense. I do think the Bengals can do a few things against them, but I think Baltimore is going to look good in this game. They're at home. I think they're going to put up some points. The only thing that gets me a little bit nervous is on the Cincy side, because now John Ross is hurt. I mean, there's not much for them to do, and that O-line is terrible. They might not be able to do much. That's the only reason why I'm worried about going over in that game. So with that, we'll move on to Seattle at Cleveland, the over-under 46.
Yeah, I'm going over here, and it's because both defenses just don't do it for me. And we've seen Clowney getting more involved in these games, and that's, I guess, if you're a Seattle fan, that's something to get really excited about. But I don't like the rest of the defense. Can I be honest about it? Like even Wagner, like even I've seen him looking exposed at times this year, for instance. So give me the under on this.
Yeah, I do like the over in this game.
No, I like the over too. My bad.
Yeah,
I like the over.
I want to give some credit to Seattle's secondary, though, because I do feel like they've played better than expected. Griffin, I think he's played pretty good. But, I think that Seattle's going to be able to take advantage of this Cleveland defense, especially in the secondary. It's having issues. And when you have Russell Wilson, who can pinpoint these throws with accuracy, I got to think he's going to have an easy time of it. And then on the flip side, I guess in a way I'm betting that Cleveland's going to get the team somewhat back on track.
It's what I said about the Bengals. Like there has to be some sort of response, right? Like you got to think. I don't think the Browns are just going to go away after getting whooped by San Fran. I don't think they're going to let that define their season. Not that I think, Browns are going to a Super Bowl, and the Browns are even going to beat out the Ravens. But my whole point is there's too much firepower there for them to lay down and not come out and play well.
Yeah, you would think, but then we look at the Falcons and it's the same kind of thing. It's kind of, I think it's coaching issues in Cleveland and Atlanta in those situations. So,
no, Giff, and I sorry to cut you off, but I think that's something someone on Instagram was asking us. Like, is this more about Freddie Kitchens or is this more about Baker? I did predict a sophomore slump. I was a little bit worried about it with Baker. But, man, this is a Freddie Kitchens problem. And me and you tried to get everyone a little bit just kind of cautious about Freddie Kitchens. Greg Williams might have been the better choice, but Freddie Kitchens, he looks a little bit lost in games. So I'm not trying to give Baker an excuse by any means, but Freddie Kitchens is a bit lost.
I agree. And I don't know if he can get it back on track. So I'm cautiously going over in this game because I could see another blowout, man. And Baker's going to be throwing interceptions and play calling is horrendous as it stands with Cleveland. It could be 30-13 in a game like this.
And this game's tough to predict, I'll tell you that.
And with that, let's move on to Houston at Kansas City, the over-under 55.5.
You got to go over because it's Pat Mahomes, right? And Deshaun Watson and Kansas City secondary. That's where I'm at. Like I think Deshaun gets going. A lot of people are picking Houston in the upset, though. I don't know if I'd go that far. People need to go back and watch the other games and not just watch the Atlanta game. If you feel good about them after watching those other games, then more power to you. But don't bet this game based on what happened in Atlanta. Use the other information available and then make an informed decision. That's really all I have to say about that. Because when I see an over/under and Pat Mahomes is playing, I go over.
Yeah, I think you got to go over in this. It has the recipe to go over. Houston has the firepower. Kansas City has the firepower. But I cautiously say over because if Houston's offensive line plays terrible like we've seen them play before, they might not get anything going this game. And Kansas City at home, I think that defense is going to be hyped. It's going to be loud there. Obviously, you can take advantage of Kansas City's defense on the second and third levels, but if they get that pass rush going, Watson might not be able to do too much. So with that, we'll move on to the Saints at the Jags, the over-under 43.5.
Under. And Geff, I was originally tempted to go over here, but this goes back to what I was saying about some of the other teams. This Jags defense, what happened last week was really, really pathetic. There's really no other way to put it. It was pathetic. It was akin to that performance last year. I don't know if it was on Thursday night when Henry tore him up, where they got blown out. This is going under. And if they let Teddy Bridgewater tear them up, then there's something wrong. I understand if Latavius and Kamara get going, that it's legit, and you got Ramczyk literally mauling people up front. There's going to be a little bit of a run game, of course. But Marcel Darius needs to actually move this game, because all those big runs I watched, I saw Marcel Darius barely moving, Geff. I'm going under here because I think people are actually going to move for Jacksonville.
Yeah, I got to go under too. Assuming you got two good defenses here going at it. I thought it was kind of funny when I read today that Ramsey and the owner had a heart-to-heart, and they put it in those exact words. But if he plays, I think that'll go a long way to helping this go under. So if Ramsey plays, I got to think this goes under.
Yeah, I felt like that was funny too. I'm like, well, what's a heart-to-heart? I thought they already had a conversation 2 weeks ago. I mean, the dude's literally refusing to play when he's under contract. So I don't know what kind of heart-to-heart there could have been, unless it was a stern warning from Shad Khan saying, like, we'll put you on the commissioner's exempt list. We'll do this to you. I can't imagine it was a mutual conversation with no force involved. Get out of here. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with that. And at a certain point now, we don't even know what to believe. I mean, people were calling us stupid after putting up our Jalen Ramsey video for not knowing what's going on. But does anybody really? Why? Because we didn't mention Coughlin, that it could be Coughlin.
And we mentioned that he didn't get the big contract. I mean, I think we all know that's Coughlin's job. Do we need to walk you guys through everything? God damn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much more detailed we can be. But
And how is it disgraceful? Like, that's what I'm not understanding. How is Jalen Ramsey not disgraceful at this point? We're the biggest Jalen Ramsey fans there are. But come on, this is disgraceful at a certain.
Yeah, it's hurting the competition in the NFL, and that's why he's a disgrace, man. Honor your contract, get paid. And I don't understand. That's as simple as it can get for me. So with that, let's move on to one of the biggest games this week. I think I'm probably the most excited for this one. Eagles at the Vikings, the over-under 44.
Yeah, Geff, I think this is the best game of the week. I think you have a good sense of this. I'm going over, but to be honest, I don't know what the hell is going to happen in this game. I said that yesterday when we did the Vegas spread picks. I'll be honest, I don't know what the hell is going to transpire here. I look forward to hearing your answer.
This was a tough one because my initial reaction was to go under because you got two defenses, two really good defensive coordinators heading off against each other in this game. But I have to go over because I think, the way Carson Wentz is playing, I really think the Eagles offense is going to be able to score in the 20s. And then the Vikings, I think they're going to be scoring in the 20s too. Dalvin Cook's running like one of the best running backs, if not the best running back right now. And they got the receivers, I think, to take advantage of that Eagle defense too. So I could easily see this going over. But if the defenses step up, like we've known both these defenses to do, it could go under. So with that, let's move to, as I like to say, the Tank Bowl, Washington at Miami, the over-under 41.
Yeah, I'm going over because there's a lot of ways you can look at this game, Geff. But can we be honest? Both of these defenses are serious disappointments, and both are really, really bad. I mean, my prediction for this game was 24 Washington, Miami 17, and that would put it literally right on the line. So good luck with this. I think it's going over, but I think this game is worth exploring in other options, betting Washington, if you're bold enough to bet on something as dysfunctional as them.
I'm going to go over because, yeah, both defenses are that bad. And I could see both these teams easily scoring in the 20s because of that. The only reason why I'm a little bit skeptical is because even though the Redskins are bad, I believe Miami is really, really, really bad.
They're
They don't,
worse. Yeah.
yeah. And Rosen at quarterback, I mean, would it be out of the realm to say that they're only going to get 10 points? It's possible. So that's the only thing holding me back from being sure about this going over.
But turnovers too. So, but there's gonna be a lot of turnovers in this game. Let's be honest. 2 turnovers at least for each team. I think that leads to points.
All right, let's move on to the 49ers at the Rams, the over-under 50.5.
Oh, I'm going under here. Just by a smidge. I think both offenses are good. But man, I'm not sold on San Fran when they get it down to the 20-yard line. I'm not sure they get 6. I think they get 3. We know the Rams are really, really good at red zone offense, normally because they can run the ball. A little bit worried about this Gurley quad injury because we know it's not the same vintage Gurley, but I've seen him do some good work. He did some good work in the Seattle game, did some good work in the Carolina game, but I'm going under here.
I'm going over. I think it has the recipe to go over. Right now, the Rams corners are struggling. 49ers offensively have a lot of different elements that they can attack you with, including through the air. You look at every
They have George Kittle.
Yeah, you got George Kittle. I mean, you have speed at receiver, but I agree. They don't have a possession receiver. I'll agree with you there, or a physical receiver. So I can understand where you're coming from, but I do think because of Shanahan, they can get some stuff going through the air, and with Tevin Coleman back, they can run the ball too.
And they can see, no doubt about San Fran though. You're right though, because they have a tremendous run game, and you could plug and play anyone in a Shanahan system, and they're going to eat at running back. That's just reality.
Yeah, and then the Rams, McVay, I got to think that they got to take advantage of the 49ers defense through the air, right? I mean, if they can't do it, then I have to start giving credit to the 49ers secondary, which I'm not ready to do.
But the problem is you have to block that front, which isn't the easiest with Bosa and D Ford coming at you.
That is true. Thankfully, the Rams have some tackles that can handle that, but you're right. That is a good part of that 49ers defense. And with that, let's move on to Atlanta at Arizona, the over-under 52. And I'm actually really surprised that because I was just looking around, like even on Pro Football Talk, looking at who everybody's picking, and I'm surprised to see Arizona getting picked here.
I mean,
I know Atlanta's been.
I'm saying, but sometimes it's good when you go against the grain. Giff, I'm going over here because Atlanta can't stop anyone, and Arizona can't cover anyone. Patrick Peterson isn't walking through those doors this week from that PED suspension or whatever the hell it was for. Giff, this is going over. This is going over. This is a borderline money pick for me. I mean, maybe Kyler Murray doesn't get anything going. And that could be the case. But this Atlanta defense is walking wounded, man.
I know. I have to go under, though.
Oh, that's crazy.
Even though I think Atlanta will get their points, but I got to believe that they're going to turn things around this week against Arizona. They can't let that Arizona's offense take advantage of them. I think they have the speed to handle Murray at least, and then there really isn't any big threats at receiver. So I would like to think Atlanta can take care of this one. If they lose this game, we might have to do another Dan Quinn video or figure something out because there's just too much talent. They can't lose to a bottom-tier team like this. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to do another video, although we were saying that if he doesn't beat the Tennessee Titans at home, he deserves to get the walk-in papers. And, yeah, they've let this season completely just fall into something that at this point really isn't salvageable.
And then we're hearing things like, why doesn't he give up play calling duties? Well, if he gives up play calling duties, why is he even there?
I don't get it. Like for his administration qualities.
Yeah, right. because of his polarizing figure. No.
Yeah, or for his pep talks. Like, that was the deal when you hire a defensive coach. You normally expect, sometimes you don't need to call the plays, but you do expect a defensive framework. You expect a system. You don't expect Isaiah Oliver to be getting beat 3-4 times a game erroneously every single week. You expect some adjustments, and there just hasn't been any.
So let's move on to Dallas at the Jets, the over under 44.5.
Well, I'm going over because I think this game's going to be close in the fourth quarter, and I think that's where the points come. And Sam Darnold's going to do something in this game. I'm not saying he's going to come tear it up or he'll have more passing yards than Dak, but I think it's a possibility. I do, but one thing you did mention when we were doing the spreads is you did mention how this Greg Williams defense might actually show up. That's the only thing that worries me about this over. But it's not that high a total, to be honest. It's not like it's 48-50.
No, that's true. But I am going to have to go under in this game because I guess I got to stick with what I bet. If I'm going Jets to win and to cover, I don't see it being a high scoring game. I got to think that Jets defense is going to be able to do something at home. And I'm going under because Dallas, mainly Dak. I mean, that's really the thing. I mean, they can run it with Zeke a little bit here or there, but I don't think it's going to be, big chunks or big runs by him. And then offensively for the Jets, I mean, I think that Darnold will do enough to get the win. So I could see this being maybe 20-13, 17-13 win by the Jets.
Fair enough.
And with that, we'll move on to Tennessee at Denver, the over-under 40.5.
Man, this is one of the toughest to pick. I'm going over. And this Tennessee offense doesn't give me any confidence. I mean, me and you knew it would be like this. Like you mentioned earlier this week, Henry not getting it going. But I think Flacco puts up 24 points here, and I think Tennessee can scrap 17. I think that gets the cover.
Yeah, I got the over as well, too. Not a whole lot I can say about it. I like Tennessee's defense. That could possibly keep it from going over. But I got to believe that the struggles on Tennessee, their offense, I think it'll give Denver enough chances to where Lindsey can get some stuff going, and then that'll open up the pass game a little bit. And 40.5, it isn't a whole lot. So it's not like I have to ask a lot from Denver in this game either, because I don't think we're going to be getting a lot from them. So, but I'm going to go over in this game.
Yeah, and I do think we get a little bit more from Tennessee because we know the way to attack Denver is pound them with the run game. And that's pretty much all Tennessee can do at this point, if they're even good at doing that anymore.
It's pretty much what both of these teams have to do to get anything going. I mean, Denver, obviously, they have talent at receiver, but Flacco limits them in that regard. So, and with that, let's move to the Steelers at the Chargers, the over-under 41.
Oh, I'm going under, man. When you got a third-string quarterback playing and a good Steelers defense against maybe a quarterback who needs to hang it up a little bit and Phillip Rivers, this has the recipes of an under. And another problem with the Chargers are there's so many people injured already. Like, it's just too many people injured for me to have much confidence. I'm going under.
Going under as well, definitely because of the quarterback situation for the Steelers. And I like the Steelers' defense in this game, though.
Me too.
I mean, I would not even be surprised if they held the Chargers to 10 points, the way Rivers' noodle arm is playing. So I really do like the under in this game.
And Gaff, here's the thing, if Tomlin keeps this defense galvanized, I mean, if Mason Rudolph starts, I'd be picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win in the cover. Like, that, they're not playing that bad. And I think everyone needs to calm down about trying to push Tomlin out of there. I want it.
I agree. I mean, there's only so much you can control as a head coach. You can't control injuries and how it takes to build a team year in and year out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I think the way that defense is looking, that's what Tomlin can control. He can't control the offense and the injuries that happen. So with that, we'll wrap it up with Detroit at Green Bay, the over-under 47.
Giff, I'm going under here. And this is a bit of a risky pick. And this is one that I don't know really what's going to happen. It's just like, well, I think Green Bay is going to win this game. Uh, but man, I don't know if Kerryon Johnson is going to be pounding the Packers like everyone thinks. No doubt, he's looked pretty good and actually pretty powerful this year when running. It's just I'm backing away from this one and I'm going under because I think this is a close game. I think it's a one score game. I'm feeling like 2017. I mean, because we've seen the Packers can lay up 21 points on you in three possessions in the first half in like 6 minutes. I've seen them do it against the Vikings, but I've also seen them completely take the foot off the gas pedal and die on offense the second half. Too risky for me. I'm going under.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go over, though, and for some reason the score of 27-24 sticks out to me because I feel like both quarterbacks are going to do their job in this game. And the point spread is 4.5 for Detroit. And I did pick Detroit to cover in this game. And I don't think that's too far out of the realm to think it could be 27-20.
Feels like a one-score game. I completely agree with you.
All right, and with that, that's Week 6 Vegas spread over under picks. We're going to